what happens when you get into debt.
That's your name?
It's not my name.
And you can't or won't pay it back.
I'm going to seize the car in front of the drive, the Ford.
In this series, we meet the people who are losing their homes.
Get out! Get out!
No, don't raise your voice at me.
We never receive any notice.
Their cars.
If I give you the keys,
Yes?
how do I know I'm going to get the car back?
And their possessions. We meet the people who are owed money.
Welcome to hell.
And the people whose job it is to collect it.
If you don't open the door, we'll smash the glass.
Because when you can't pay,
Don't speak to me like, 'cause I'll take your head off.
they'll take it away.
There's like different forms of scum in life, but you're just a higher class one.
Take him out.
Around 3.9 million British families do not have enough savings to cover their rent or mortgage for more than a month. A report by the Centre for Social Justice says thousands of people are caught in the perfect storm of rising living costs, falling wages and expensive credit.
Paul Bowhill and Steve Pinner are enforcement officers based in the southeast of England.
No, that's OK. We only had it to go to the High Court yesterday.
Also known as sheriffs, they spend their time chasing some of the 70,000 writs that are issued by the courts each year.
Hello?
Against people who can't pay.
I have a writ. The money's outstanding against you.
Yeah.
Can you pay it?
No, not at all.
And people who won't pay.
It's not me. I wasn't on that address on that time.
No. Is it possible?
Oh, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about it.
Today, the team is heading to Thornton Heath in South London to evict a female tenant who owes over £3,000 in rent. Despite being served notice to leave 6 months ago, she's refused to go. Paul and Steve have a High Court writ that instructs them to repossess the property and evict the tenant immediately. They complete up to 400 evictions a year, so there's not much that gets under their skin. But that's about to change.
Hello? God, stinks of damp. Hello? Oh, stinks.
Anybody in? Hello?
Ugh. Stinks.
It's really appalling, this is. I mean, this is like a danger to health, isn't it? Well, it's like pushchairs here, so if they've got young kids in here, what sort of people are they? Every cold surface has got condensation on it. My guess is this is a dryer, and it's actually exhausting into the house here. There's damp everywhere. This is really bad because there are young children here. There's baby milk here, toddler milk.
The landlord's agent has arrived with a friend. She's been trying to access the property for months.
Oh my gosh. It's everywhere.
Steve's son, Ben, is also part of the enforcement team.
I don't know what to say. I don't know how you can live like this with kids. The thing is, I've written her so much letters saying, please, I want to get in, sort out the damp. Please, I want to...
So you've done everything you can to try and
and she's not letting me. She's not letting me. Now she doesn't answer the phone. She ain't been paying her rent. So what happens now?
The property's been repossessed. It's back in our possession.
Okay.
So we may look to do an agreement with you to let them stay for a few days, or let them take what they can, or you guys let them make arrangements for you to let them in to pick up the rest of their stuff.
Yeah, I'll let them in to get the rest of their stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I don't understand why people live like that, but there are more of them out there than you'll ever imagine. And unfortunately, obviously, we come across them.
An hour after they've arrived, the The sheriffs have changed the locks and repossessed the house, but there's still no sign of the tenant.
Phone's going to voicemail, so we'll send her a text saying, your house has been repossessed, please call me immediately. That's the worst mould condensation I have ever seen.
Yeah. Just glad that I've got the property back now, so...
Yeah, we're not going to let her go back in.
Yeah, please don't.
No, we won't. It's now repossessed. The locks have changed. You need to pay us for changing the locks.
OK, no problem.
Procedure is that she'll come back, we'll allow her to take her personal belongings, and then she needs to make an arrangement with you to actually go back to get her stuff out.
OK.
Almost 2 hours later, there's still no reply from the tenant.
We've done all we can do. We've sent her a text message. She's not responding to the text message. She's not picking up the phone. But, I mean, there's nothing we can do. So, sad though it is, when we come back, as we will inevitably, she'll just be allowed to get her personal possessions and away she goes.
All the sheriffs can do now is wait. It's early evening. Paul has been called away on another case. Steve is on his own. He's calling the tenant every half hour, but there's still no reply. He's getting worried.
I do feel sorry for people who are losing their homes. Some people lose their homes through no fault of their own. Some people just work the system, I'm sorry. They do.
Finally, at almost 7 o'clock, he gets through.
OK, the situation is, the house has now been repossessed.
Okay.
I have the keys. I am at the property now.
I did not receive any notice. I did not receive anything from them.
We have been trying to contact you all day long on the numbers that we've been able to find out for you. We tried. They've been going to voicemail. They've been going dead.
If I had received a text or a call, I would definitely have called back.
OK. The situation is, unfortunately, the house now has been taken away from you. There is nothing we can do about that.
I am at work at the moment, and I've got two toddlers, a little boy of 1 year old, and a little girl of 2 years. I'm talking about having two children out in the night tonight with nothing at all. I am an adult, and if it means sleeping on the street, for me, that is okay. My little boy is just 1 year old. The little girl is 2 years. What can be done now to have access to that house?
Nothing. The problem you have is you need to get some stuff out of the house tonight so you can survive for a few days somewhere else until you can make an arrangement to come back and clear the rest.
Is it possible for you to stay back in London tonight?
And who's going to pay my hotel bill?
Okay, but is it possible to stay over with us this night?
For me to stay? No, not at all. I can't do that at all, I'm sorry.
I'm begging you to give me from now till Saturday.
I don't...
Nowhere for us to sleep.
What you must understand... What you must understand, I don't have the authority to do that.
Oh.
Listen, I'm going to call you back in a short while.
Okay.
South London. Earlier today, Paul Bohill and Steve Pinner began a difficult eviction in Thornton Heath.
Hello?
The tenant owes over £3,000. She's ignored requests to leave, despite being served notice 6 months ago. They discovered a house covered in damp.
This is really bad because there are young children here. There's baby milk here.
And a tenant in a desperate situation.
I'm begging you to give me from now till Saturday.
I don't...
Nowhere for us to sleep.
There is nothing we can do about that.
If it means sleeping on the street, for me, that is okay. My little boy is just 1 year old. The little girl is 2 years. What can be done now to have access to that house?
Nothing.
Now confronted by the possibility of putting a mother and 2 toddlers out onto the street late at night, Steve is making a mercy call to the landlord's agent.
Hello? Hi, this is Steve. I've just been on the phone to her, and she tells me that she's got 2 children under the age of 2 years old. She doesn't finish work till 11 o'clock and she's in Richmond somewhere.
Okay. What do we do then? You know, I can't put her back in the property for one night. I can't do it. If she finishes, you know, if it was that important, she would ask to come off work. Wouldn't you come off work?
Well, I would, yes. You say you don't want to let her in for one night?
No, because then tomorrow she ain't going to come out.
She will if I come over. I mean, I'm doing this for me, OK? If you say that she can stay there for one night, I will see that she goes in the morning, takes her kids off somewhere, and then she comes back in a few days and clears the rest of her stuff.
100%.
100%. Physically. If there's a problem, I will deal with it. Are you OK with that? If I take that responsibility for you?
Yeah, you take that responsibility and give me a call tomorrow.
OK. I mean, what's hitting me is the 2 kids.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. Because I feel bad that she's got 2 kids as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only bit. If the kids wasn't there, I wouldn't be even having this conversation. Are you happy with that?
Yeah. All right, Steve. All right, then.
Thank you for that. Take care. Bye. There's 2 tiny kids. You can't expect... Well, maybe you can. Maybe I'm in the wrong job. I can't put 2 kids out on the street 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I can't do it. So the responsibility is on me. My boss may kick my behind for it tomorrow. I can't do it. You know, not everybody's artless, that's the thing. And at the end of the day, we all have problems from time to time. So, you know, if you can help someone out, why not?
Steve's decision is unprecedented. Although sheriffs can use their discretion, this is the first time he's ever decided to let a tenant back in after they've been evicted. He restores the original locks so that the mum and her children can get in. And he will return tomorrow. It's 10 a.m. and Steve is on his way back to the property.
Today's the day she has to leave with her 2 little ones. I don't know the full reasons behind it all. All I just know is that the house has been repossessed, and that's all there is to it. She did send me a text last night thanking me for letting her stay. I mean, one more night, one more day wouldn't affect the agent, the landlord, or anybody. The only person it would affect was the lady in the house.
Good morning.
How are you?
Did I speak to you?
I'm Steve. I am.
Thank you so much for yesterday. Because I gave you the guarantee that I don't want you...
You don't want to go back on your word.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I spoke to you reasonably yesterday and you were more than reasonable with me.
What you need to take now is the stuff that you're going to need till you can get back.
10 minutes. Or even a quick shower.
But despite drafting in a friend to help her pack, she's still not ready.
I take 6 minutes from waking up to get out the door.
Oh, I don't know how much time you got.
I haven't got much more. I did say to you 2 hours.
Steve changes the locks again. It's the 3rd and final time.
They're just getting their last few bags together. No lights on upstairs, I think.
It's taken over 24 hours, but the tenant finally leaves the property. This eviction is over.
Well, that's that now done. A little bit longer than I anticipated, but, you know, such is life. The most surprising thing about the job sometimes is you've done a repossession and asked somebody to leave their home, and then they say thank you. I don't understand that, but we're always grateful, and it does happen.
households sank further into debt this year for the first time since the onset of the financial crisis. A new report says that non-mortgage related debt grew 4% in the past 12 months.
Another day. There are more High Court writs to chase. While house repossessions make up a large portion of Paul and Steve's work, there's another part of the job that's taking up more and more of their time.
We will seize the vehicle until somebody comes forward with the relative paperwork to say that it isn't actually yours.
Known as Seize and Sells, the Sheriff's aim is to recover debts owed to their clients.
We're a High Court enforcement agency, and there is a debt outstanding. Is that her car?
I don't know.
Are you in a position to settle the debt for your mum? Let's say it's in the region of nearly £5 grand.
Every time a payment is made, Paul and Steve get a percentage.
The only thing that's going to stop us taking your car today is if you make a substantial payment.
I mean, you know, can I pay £1 grand or something, then do something next week?
Happy days. We'll take £1,000 off him on his credit card and we'll go forward.
But if the debtor can't or won't pay, they have the authority to remove possessions to cover what's owed. Today, they're en route to a seize and sell job in Surbiton on the outskirts of London. The debt is an eye-watering £25,000. It's owed to a firm of solicitors who were employed to fight a court case, but who haven't been paid. If Paul and Steve can get the debtor to pay up, they'll get a percentage. If not, they'll have to remove his possessions and sell them to earn any commission.
Hello. Excuse me, I'm looking for these people here.
Mr. Joyce, am I here?
We're from the High Court. It's to do with legal costs. We have a warrant here for £25,000 worth of legal costs. Can we come in and talk about it so we can get on the telephone to them? All right?
Mr. Cho, the man they're after, is at work.
Mr. Cho is my husband. He's in office now.
All right. Is that quite close? Is the office quite close? Could you ring? Could we? You know, we need to resolve this today, if that's possible, please.
여보세요? Okay.
Hello? Yes, my name is Paul Bowhill. I'm a High Court enforcement officer. We have a warrant here for £25,300. Are you aware of it? If I can explain, this is quite serious, though, is that the writ here authorises me to take payment of this money, £25,000, or to take away the contents of your house. I mean, is there any possibility that you can pay? Can I make it really clear that this warrant authorises me to take the contents of your house away if I need to? And if we wait here, I'm quite happy to do that, but there is a cost to that. For every hour that I'm here, it'll cost you £218. Whenever we're doing a job, it's about getting paid, because I get paid if we get a result. We don't get paid if we don't. Yeah, but you're missing the point here. I'm staying here in the house until you ring me back. They're not grasping the enormity of the problem. The critical thing that I didn't notice earlier is the actual judgment in the first place is for less than £9,000.
Yeah, I saw that.
They appealed the decision and lost the appeal. So we're now looking at 3 times the figure. Wow. This is how debt runs out of control, isn't it? Really? It's a classic example.
Mr. Cho has been made legally responsible for the debt of £25,000 owed to the solicitors. It's a lot of money, and they've no idea if he can pay up. While they wait for his return, Steve begins an inventory to see if there's anything of significant value they can seize.
Dresser? Garden chair set?
Outside, Paul is weighing up the options.
We've done a land registry search, so we're ahead of the game. The The property doesn't belong to them. We've also established that the person who is actually here, the guy whose name is on the warrant, is a chartered surveyor. And that the firm he works for are estate agents and surveyors. So in other words, they're people with the ability to pay, in other words.
As they can't take the house, it looks like the only way Mr. Cho can pay off his debt will be through his earnings, especially as Steve's inventory isn't coming up with much.
Nothing so far amounts to the fact that we're looking for £25,000. With all due respect to the people in here, none of this will even scratch the surface. Let's say £100, be brave and say £100 microwave. By the time you take it out, who wants to buy a second-hand microwave? They're not going to pay £100.
3 hours after the sheriff's arrival, Mr. Cho turns up. It's the first opportunity to discuss his debt face to face.
We've taken an inventory of the items in the ground floor here. I understand that upstairs is rented out to other people.
All of these are not ours.
Okay.
I'm not the owner. I had to sell this house.
All right.
Today, I was in the city of London. My wife called me urgently. Somebody visited to collect money, whatever. So I rushed to come here by train and bus. I was shocked.
As the sheriffs check Mr. Cho's expenditure, it becomes clear he's already paying out more money than he's getting in.
Is that your current debt?
And every month I should pay monthly. Can you imagine? So many items to pay, monthly payment. I had to because I'm...
This is you have to pay these?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why you may listed this furniture or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing for us.
No, we know.
The chance of recovering the debt is disappearing.
I'm not in the business of just going through the motions, but I do need to establish that this house doesn't belong to you, which we've done by checking the land registry. You haven't swung into the drive in a brand new Mercedes car, which we would have taken.
No.
So that's okay.
Nothing.
So that's okay.
For example, you mean?
For example, yeah. That's right, yeah. So we will go away empty-handed, but happy that we've done our job. Now, there is only one weakness to this. If we go away, we report that there is nothing to seize. They could immediately, if they wish, issue bankruptcy proceedings against you.
Voluntary bankruptcy.
You're going to do that, are you?
Yeah, myself.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, so
but
don't worry.
It's not fine, but that's all right. Being in debt used to be a shameful thing. Going bankrupt used to have one hell of a stigma attached to it, but that only now applies to people over 50. People over 50 will be ashamed to be in debt and they would not want to go bankrupt. Younger people effectively don't care anymore. It's not a problem to them.
With an impending bankruptcy, Mr. Cho is in no position to pay up. Paul and Steve leave empty-handed.
Thank you very much indeed.
Very kind, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The guy's going to file his bankruptcy. I don't doubt that. He's told us a story which is sad in its own way, and the thing has just spiralled out of control.
It's very shameful for me, personally, because I have worked quite a long time. I should have saved money and to pay the debt. But I couldn't pay because my personal economic difficulties. That's why I feel somewhat shameful, yeah.
The homeless charity shelter says that 1 in 11 people fear they will not be able to afford to keep a roof over their heads. It found that millions across the country will be starting this year anxious about whether they will be able to pay rent or their mortgage.
Today, the enforcement team is on their way to an unusual house repossession in Croydon, South London.
We're looking for...
79.
79?
There's one landlord and one property, but 2 sets of tenants are being evicted. The landlord served notice on them 3 months ago. He wants to renovate the property, but they've not budged.
Number? 79, next to the white door.
The arrival of the sheriffs, armed with a High Court writ of possession, will soon bring both tenancies to an end.
Good morning. We're High Court enforcement officers. We come to repossess the property today. So...
Is there somebody else here as well?
Yeah, upstairs.
OK.
The downstairs room is home to a young family with a small child. They have no rent arrears. In a room upstairs is a tenant who has 2 children. She owes almost £8,000 and has not paid rent for 24 months.
We're High Court enforcement officers.
Wow.
And we've come to repossess the property today.
Okay, yeah.
With the landlord keen to begin renovations, there's an urgency to get this job wrapped up.
This has been changed to the High Court. There's no eviction letters.
I don't understand.
No, but you had 2 months' notice of the...
No, I have no notice at all.
No.
I've got no notice, no eviction, no bailiff. I've got nothing at all.
When we arrive on their door, we explain why we're there, and the first thing they say to us is I don't know nothing about this. We don't know what you're talking about. And then we say to them, well, you must have had a letter from this. We've never had any letters from anybody telling us anything about this. And then you gradually talk to them and then realise, oh, yeah, we did have a letter saying that once. But they still try and deny that it's their problem.
The writ instructs the sheriffs to evict both sets of tenants, but there's a problem. It's the council.
Have you spoken to the council about being rehoused?
Yeah, I've been there.
And what was their answer? Wait till the bailiffs come.
Yeah, I went there twice.
The tenants have got standard delaying tactics, which are inevitably supported by the social housing people, so the councils, in other words. So the minute the landlord wants his property back, the councils go into mode, stop the housing benefit, and immediately start to obstruct, so the entire system clogs up.
Paul and Steve are encountering more tenants who are refusing to move because they believe the council won't give them somewhere else to live.
The landlord has chosen to go to the High Court to get this eviction notice because we're quicker than the county court is. We're from the High Court. No, we're from the High Court in London. Right, and they use us because we're fast. And that is that the paperwork was signed off in the High Court yesterday, and we're actually here today. Right, but if you've been to the court, if you've been to the council, I can give you a copy of this High Court order. But the long and the short of it is this. You've got 2 hours to get your stuff packed and move out.
Is it?
Yeah.
2 hours. If I can't go in 2 hours, what's going to happen?
We'll just throw it all out. We'll just throw it all out into the street. No, that's okay, but it still needs to be done.
It's a tough stance, but Paul's motivation is that he wants the council to take action, so the tenants aren't left homeless.
We are here to evict you today. Right? We might appear to be nice, but you will be evicted today. We'll try and help out however we can in the meantime. We're caught in the same trap that we were always caught in here. Been to the council as recent as yesterday, and he's already been on the case, and they're saying it's OK, they can't evict you without notice. Wrong. This is a High Court order, completely different to the county court. The bailiffs might give them a month or 2 months, but that's why the landlord's actually called us in.
Once evicted, the tenants should be entitled to emergency accommodation, as they both have children. But there's not always enough places to go round. It's up to the council to decide who gets help and who doesn't. Paul is doing all he can.
Can you tell them it's important? Time is ticking away. When you go in there, say that, let's put a deadline on it for their purposes. At 1 o'clock, we're going to throw everything out.
All right.
Okay. Just to impress the urgency. Okay.
Excuse me, how am I going to get my stuff then?
Go and see the council first. We're going to do nothing till you come back from the council.
Okay, make sure.
So you make sure the council understand the pressure.
You got my stuff in there?
No, just make sure that the council understand.
Outside, the landlord has arrived.
How are we doing? You
It's nice to see you again.
So how are we doing? Who's going to the council?
He went yesterday, and it's the usual old trot out. Got to wait till the bailiff comes. They've both got a copy of the writ to take to the council. What we're trying to do is, but if they get to the council and they get a positive response, we can plan from that. We'll get it rolling. So your man's going to change the locks. There's the keys.
We've had to go through the protocol to get the eviction or the cost involved. It's cost us almost $3-4 grand to get this whole matter sorted out. Now it's going to cost us thousands to put this property straight. But it's one of those things what we have to do, part and parcel of our job. So, you know, we're just glad that we got the possession today. So all of this can come out, all of this floor, all of this carpet, then come down to Michelle.
15 minutes after the tenants leave to go to the council offices, the renovations begin.
The landlord's happy. He's got control of the place. He's got all the keys. Locks are changed. He's just ready to roll. He's ripping the floors up as we speak.
Go on, mate.
Early evening. The tenants' personal possessions are being collected. After many hours of negotiations, they've both been given emergency accommodation.
If you look at the routine of a repossession, after we've overcome the first hit and we've repossessed the property, we change from like enforcement officers into caring individuals, and we will then go to tremendous lengths to make sure that people are dealt with sympathetically.
Paul's uncompromising approach left the council with little option.
One in 5 families in England now rent from a private landlord. The latest census figures from the Office of National Statistics also show that the proportion of families that own their own home has dropped by 13% over the last decade, as more people are priced out of property ownership.
It's 2 weeks before Christmas in central London. Enforcement officers Paul and Steve are travelling to one of the capital's most expensive areas, right in the heart of the city.
We're in the congestion charging zone.
Yeah, we've been in it all day. Parking was a tenner, congestion's a tenner. You know.
It's a place where evictions might seem unlikely, but you'd be mistaken.
He'll come back and say, expensive that is. Well, he might choose more flowery words.
They're chasing a debt of around £4,000, made up of rent arrears and sheriff's fees. The High Court writ has instructed them to both repossess the property and seize possessions. The locksmith has already arrived, but before they meet the tenants, they have to get in.
Hi, sorry to trouble you. We're enforcement officers and we need to get into one of the flats up top. I wonder if you could let us in. Thank you very much.
Once inside, it's an uphill struggle even before the job has begun.
Wow.
Need oxygen. 97 stairs to the street.
97?
Yeah.
No wonder I was out of breath. You're out of breath.
I should think so. I'm getting up too old for this, look.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one out of breath.
Good morning.
What's the problem?
We're High Court enforcement officers. And there is a debt outstanding of £4,000. And we've come to repossess the property today.
Give me 1 second.
Sure. No, we will.
The man who owes the money is not at home, but his partner is in. The rent has not been paid for 3 months.
There is a debt outstanding of £4,000. So it's been to court.
Yes.
And you lost in court, and now we come to evict you.
Yeah, we will be able to pay half of that.
Well, what?
It's because we are waiting for the money.
OK.
The offer to pay is unusual, but it's too little too late.
The situation is that I need to secure the debt on money, on equipment and property here.
While the locks are changed, Steve chats to the debtor on the phone.
The rent hasn't been paid for some time. The landlord has gone to court and it's now been transferred up to the High Court, and we're High Court enforcement officers. We've come to evict you today. The situation will be is that we will seize everything in the flat until this money's paid. Please don't take this the wrong way. If you pay the money today, you still have to leave. There's nothing I can do about that. So please accept my apologies for that, but there is nothing I can do. Let me just pass you back. Thank you.
The tenant claims the money will be paid today, but nothing can stop the eviction.
He's quite reasonable. He says it's his fault. What happens if he could pay the money today? He's expecting some money today. So I just explained to him that, you know, he can pay the money today, but there is nothing I can do about them staying in the flat. He's on his way, so he'll be with us in a short while. They have a 7-year-old daughter as well.
OK.
While they wait for the tenant to come back, Paul decides to intervene. He has a plan to soften the blow. He calls the landlord's agent.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We have repossessed the flat.
OK.
There's just a couple of questions, if I may. Is they say they are able to pay this rent arrears.
Yeah.
It was just a question as to whether the landlord might review the situation in view of the fact that they're going to pay up to date.
Basically, would you let them stay if they clear the arrears?
Yes, I don't mean stay today because we've now repossessed it. So
yeah, I mean, moving forward, effectively.
We could give them a holiday let for a week or a fortnight. So the question is purely, would the landlord look favourably if they pay that, the repossession costs and the locksmith's costs?
Mm-hmm.
You might go forward with it.
Fine. Let me ask him. He's based in the States, so I won't be able to get an answer for a good couple of hours.
All right. Thanks ever so much. Take care. Bye.
A holiday let would allow the tenants to move back in after a few days, giving them time to sort out the debt with the landlord.
The incentive on this is if the landlord does agree to that, he's going to get his rent paid up to date. Otherwise, what we've got in the flat isn't going to pay £4,000. So the landlord has a choice. Bird in the hand, isn't it?
London. Just 2 weeks before Christmas. Paul and Steve are carrying out an eviction in one of the capital's most expensive suburbs. They're chasing a High Court writ for just over £4,000, based on rent arrears plus costs. When they arrived,
Morning.
only the debtor's partner was at home.
We're High Court enforcement officers.
What's the problem?
There is a debt outstanding of £4,000.
But now the man they've been waiting for is back. Chris from Poland recently moved here with his family to start a new job as an area sales manager.
My name is Paul, this is Steve.
Hi there, Chris.
We have a warrant here. Now, can I just say something before we go? Is there a possibility you can pay the rent?
Yes.
OK. It doesn't affect the fact that we've now repossessed the property, but the landlord lives in the States. I've already just phoned the agent and asked if there's a possibility, if you pay the rent tomorrow, for example, would he still let you stay here, if that's OK with you? But you still have to leave today.
Yeah, I understand.
And then, but what I'm trying to say is we're quite happy to try and change things to make it go forward.
I came to London in February 2013, and we came with the vision of me having a full-time job, but at that time the job did not happen, and we ran into the problems.
If you can get your stuff together, and then I'll get in touch with you if the landlord comes up trumps and agrees that you can stay here.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Rents are quite high. Well, unless you don't pay them, then they don't cost much. But then you get thrown out of the house. You cannot live in London without money. And we're not the kind of people that will go on benefit or child benefit or whatever. This was not a matter of us trying to avoid and escape and not ever pay that. It was just a matter that a few months it was late, and that was the problem, because of the work, because of the job, because of the situation.
Chris and his partner leave the property with just a few personal possessions. They still have no idea if the landlord will accept the sheriff's plan for their return.
Can I lock it down?
Yeah.
Or...
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
We'll come down and speak with you.
All right.
There are absolutely genuine people who don't want to be in debt and they can't avoid the consequences of what's happening around them. So, in other words, they're not driving the situation.
It's a few days later, and Paul and Steve are returning to central London. Chris has paid up. The sheriff's plan has worked.
Okay, this is a holiday letting agreement, which will give you 14 days to stay here to sort out everything else that you need to do, and then we will go on from there.
Essentially what's happened, you've paid the rent up to date now, so there's no debt, and the landlord is in agreement that you continue, so he obviously accepts that you're a good tenant, apart from this hiccup over the rent. But all that happens, because it takes time for that other agreement to start, we do this short term.
You could just sign the bit where the tenant is.
That's there. I'll contact the agents tomorrow, sort out the details, and I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
That's all we want.
Yeah, that's it. We're
so
done.
We'll leave you now.
Thank you.
And we'll...
Good luck, Chris. We'll see you soon.
Have a nice Christmas. Good Christmas.
Yeah. You too. Have a good Christmas.
Yeah, thank you.
It's that I'm going to lose my home. I really need to do something because, you know, he is a genuine person, you know, and everything he said he would do, he did. So you have to give credit to him. So that little sharp jab to begin with focused him, and he's now back at home, happy, ready for Christmas.
The landlord's got his rent arrears, which if we'd thrown him out and left him out, would not have occurred. So this is an occasion when it's a win-win situation. I'm pleased with the result. They're nice people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy days.
Onward and onwards. Oh, onward and upwards.
Onward, driver.
Yes, sir. Okay.
What happens when you get into debt?
Well, I'll do what I want. I will punch you clean through that window.
And you can't
You think you can tear my family apart?
or won't pay it back.
I can't pay it. I can't pay it.
We meet the High Court enforcement agents who are pushed to their limits.
You bugger! Get out of here! So somebody's gonna get hurt.
Dealing with desperate debtors
Did I have 3,000?
in dramatic situations.
I don't want you. Calm down.
We meet the people who are losing their homes
And I haven't been sleeping or anything because I've been worried about all of this.
and their possessions.
That's fine, because I just list everything and we'll take it.
Because whatever happens, if you can't pay...
Get your hands off of me.
They'll take it away. A recent report from a leading landlords association shows that housing benefit tenants are being increasingly turned away from the private rental sector. These tenants are viewed as a bigger risk because of the widening gap between market rents and the housing benefit councils are prepared to pay. Paul Bohill and Ben Pinner are High Court enforcement agents. They travel all over the southeast of England, recovering debts and repossessing homes. Today they're in North London to carry out an eviction.
We're going to North 9, which is Edmonton Green.
It's just slightly down market area, this, isn't it?
Funny enough, this is where Dad used to have a house.
That's what I mean, down market area.
The tenants, Ms Olarerin and her mother, Ms Akintola, owe over £6,000 in unpaid rent.
We want Garrett Drive, flat 5.
Notice of eviction has been sent by the county court, but the landlord escalated the case to the High Court, and the tenants must leave today.
I'm guessing they might be the landlord and the locksmith.
But this eviction isn't going to be straightforward.
Good morning. Morning. Paul Bohill. Hello, Harry.
Do you have keys? We have keys, yeah. You're not communicating with us at all, refusing to speak to us, haven't turned up to any of the court cases. So, standard, really.
It's useful to be able to throw that back when they say, well, we don't know why we're moving. If you give us a few minutes, we'd like to get the bloodshed and the shouting under control.
I'm not sure if they're home, I haven't been inside, to be honest. But
it's even better if they're not.
OK, I'll leave it to you. Good luck.
Thank you very much, sir.
Next one. Oh, there's a pram outside.
Oh, dear. Which one was it? 5 or 6? When I knock on the door, I'm only thinking of the possibilities of what might occur, so I'm just going through the risk assessment. People are increasingly aggressive, but my attitude on the doorstep is perfectly calm, collected, and just running through the scenarios that might follow. Somebody in there, could you hear the door creaking? If you open the door, please, we're from the court. We know you're in there.
I'd like to think I'm talking to myself, but I get this distinct impression that there is someone there.
With no one answering, Ben decides to use the keys he's been given by the landlord's agent.
Chances.
But there's a problem. It appears the locks have been changed.
Do you want to open the door? Otherwise I'll have to open it.
We will break in if you don't open the door. Just get the locksmith.
As Paul heads downstairs, Ben tries again to get somebody to answer the door.
Just so you know, you have 1 hour to leave the property, so you're currently 12 minutes into that. So if you want to keep wasting it, that's your decision. But this isn't going to change, and we're not going to go anywhere.
Minutes later, the landlord's agent brings the locksmith upstairs.
So we checked it about 2 weeks ago and the keys were working, so I'm surprised the keys are not working today.
Top one's not working.
Yeah, they must have changed it.
The landlord's agent decides to call the tenant to see if he can get a response.
I'm calling from HomeLink, landlord's office, regarding your property. We're here with the enforcement officer. Are you home? Can you open the door?
We'll just go for it then.
Yeah.
Locksmith will have to earn his money.
But as the locksmith starts to force the lock, the agents are in for a surprise.
Special method.
The new locks are high security and can't be forced with a standard drill.
When they're not answering and they've obviously come to the mindset that we'll just go away, that's really not the case. We're going to be coming through that door, whether you like it or not, one way or the other.
Paul and Ben now have no option but to break down the door.
Keep the door clear. Clear the hallway.
Permission to carry on?
Yeah.
Hello? I'm not impressed, madam. That really wasn't necessary, was it?
What are you doing?
We are High Court enforcement.
Okay, so move out.
Why don't you talk
Fuck
to
away.
us? This isn't going to solve anything, and you're running out of time rapidly, madam. We're amicable people. We're not here to cause problems. We understand you don't want us here, but at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we're trying to help you to help yourself get to the council.
Don't shut the door.
What the fuck do you want? Get out of the room. I don't want you in here.
Down.
Mom!
This is not going to make a scrap of difference.
Madam, I must inform you that any obstruction of us in this execution of this writ will result in your arrest by police. Do you understand? I'm simply doing my job, madam.
The agents might be inside, but can they get the tenants out before tempers escalate? High Court enforcement agents Paul Bohill and Ben Pinner were in North London to carry out an eviction.
Do you want to open the door?
Somebody in there, could you hear the door creaking?
The tenants refused to answer the door.
Can you open the door? She's hung up.
The locks had been changed,
Special method.
leaving Paul and Ben no alternative but to force entry.
Hello?
What are you doing?
We are High Court enforcement.
Okay, so move out.
Why don't you
Fuck
talk
away.
to us?
Mom!
Now, the agents need to make the tenants understand that they must leave today.
You've got 45 minutes to get your personal effects together and to leave the flat.
Tenant Ms. Olererin won't speak to the agents, so Ben tries to reason with her mother.
We are amicable people.
I don't care. What do you want?
We are here from the court to evict you.
Okay.
You have 40 minutes to clear your item.
Okay, that's very unnecessary.
In only one case out of 100 is the tenant going to be packed and ready to go. The rest of the tenants will still have their head in the bucket of sand, waiting for the knock with the actual eviction notice.
Ms. Olererin has a young baby and is entitled to emergency accommodation from the council. Ben wants her to understand what she needs to do next.
Obviously, you were aware of the county court judgments and that you were evicted, that you was asked to leave the premises. Because you failed to do so, we have been instructed to attend today. I don't expect you to clear this whole flat right here, right now. You need to pack a bag with the essentials, medications, identification, clothing, and anything to last you for the next few days. You then take the writs which I've given you to the council. They will, I hope, provide you with emergency accommodation. Okay? If you need me, I'll be out here. My name is Ben. Where there are children involved, it is a lot worse because they're vulnerable. It is hard-hitting at times. We just hope that they'll get the necessary help from the council.
The agents have been in the property for over an hour. Ms. Olererin and her mother have finally begun to pack. But as Paul and Ben start an inventory of the flat, they're in for a shock.
It's empty, isn't it?
It's like hoarder's paradise.
Open the door as well to the room. It's not hoarding though, is it? Everything's just overdone. The state of the place, it's absolutely cluttered to the roof. If the landlord were to clear it out, it would take a 3-man team best part of the day to clear that out.
Ben wants to know how the family have got into such a serious situation.
You're not working at the moment?
There's a lot going on. So yesterday we just had our lights cut off, you know.
Lights cut off by who? Like the electricity board?
Yeah. Well, I pay my half of the rent, and that's how much they say they can pay the full.
So it is a shortfall in the benefits?
Very shortfall.
It appears that when the family moved in 2 years ago, Ms. Olorerin's housing benefits covered any shortfall in the rent. But after her benefits were capped 6 months ago, she fell into arrears.
That's why you've struggled to pay the rent?
That's why I don't understand how people are surviving.
I acknowledge the fact that because there's a benefits cap, this might be an ongoing situation. One thing that's not occurred in this case, which is a common denominator in most of these cases, is that they won't communicate with the agent or the landlord. Now, the agent and the landlord have tried repeatedly to phone them, but they've just been cut off. So if they'd communicated, things could have been done.
Nearly an hour and a half after the agents arrived at the property, the tenants are ready to leave.
Do you want me to give you a hand?
Thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you. Just put it on the floor.
Sure. We gotta go.
The family are now homeless.
If we would have known, we would have at least prepared for it.
We feel bad.
Not prepared for it, but we would have known. Like, you guys have to do a job just like I would have to do a job.
What you do need to do is speak to social services because you have a child they're obliged to rehouse you.
It will be up to the council to give them a bed for the night.
But all in all, it went fairly smoothly.
A little bit of argy-bargy, as it were, but it was the only way to get in.
But the door barge could have been avoided if they just communicated. Well, they went from not talking to us at all to having a full-on conversation, so, you know, we get there in the end.
Over 40,000 county court judgments were issued against businesses in England and Wales during the first 6 months of 2016. Their average value now exceeds £3,500, and it's small businesses who have been hardest hit. High Court enforcement agents Del Anglin and Brian O'Shaughnessy are in North London, with a writ to recover nearly £7,000 owed by a garage to a dissatisfied customer.
Okay, next job there is Swinton Autos in Stoke Newington. After some £6,698.79. I think they're garages, MOTs and repairs and stuff.
When the garage failed to pay, the claimant escalated the case to the High Court. If the garage can't or won't pay today, the agents have the right to seize goods to offset the debt.
There's people coming out.
How you doing?
Oh, my days! Good guy. Thank you, What's happening, eh?
Trying to get through here. Is it all dead end down there, is it?
Dead end, bro.
Okay, cool.
What side do you want? What number?
Swinton Autos.
Swinton?
Yeah.
Which person?
Just Swinton Autos.
But who, though?
Swinton Autos.
Looking for?
Swinton Autos. How many people working there? Is it different people?
Yeah, because we've had like letters coming through for other people and they're not here.
What other people? Swinton Autos.
The writ is in the company name, so the agents need to find out who's in charge.
Are you the boss man?
No.
Is he here?
No.
Who's the governor? Who's the boss? Who owns Swinton Autos?
Swinton Autos?
Yeah.
It's only Charlie Motors here, not Swinton Autos.
What was his name? The guy that owned that one?
The guy that owned it his name was Humphrey.
Humphrey, yeah?
He died of cancer a very long time. So,
You've been trading under the name Swinton then?
So it's the new companies.
Yeah, but you've been using the Swinton name though, haven't it?
Maybe still on some of the letterheads or whatever, but it's changed now. It's Charlie Autos. It's changed now.
The man, who says his name is Gary, claimed that Swinton Autos is no longer trading and that his Uncle Charlie now runs the business. But the agents need proof.
So I need to see some paperwork to that effect. Can you get some paperwork organised? Can I get paperwork? Yeah.
If you have a company that is not trading, you then issue an invoice from that company. As far as I'm concerned, you owe the money. They need to show that that debt does not belong to that company.
Gary gets his Uncle Charlie on the phone.
Hello? Uncle Charlie. Yeah, you got these, you know them county court judges, guys? Yeah, they're here, they're looking for Swinton Autos, they need proof of Charlie Autos. They want to enforce the writ. Yeah, the other guy's gone inside the garage. That ain't what's his name, sister, is it? Is that her, yeah?
It seems that Gary has an idea what the debt is about.
She brought her car in, it was broken down, and it was leaking oil all over the road, this, that, the other. She gave one price of the engine, the turbo, and then she couldn't afford it, she's working, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't understand how it's gone this far, and the car's still right there. Which one is it? Car's right there on the ramp, bruv.
It appears the claimant's vehicle is still somewhere on the premises. Dell puts the pressure on.
We're here to collect money, bruv.
You're here to collect money, but her car's still there.
Would you want to keep the car and give me $7 grand?
Keep the car and give me $7 grand, you're fucking crazy, bruv.
Just thought I'd ask you.
Hey? You can hold my balls and squeeze and have to scream.
I'm not there to be involved in the dispute. I'm there on the command of the High Court Writ of Control. Whether that's fair or not fair is for somebody else to make that decision. We've come there to remove goods or to collect money.
With payment looking unlikely, the agent's only option could be to seize the car and return it to the claimant. But there's a problem.
The car was fucked when it came. Where's the pistons? Where's the pistons? Well, they're certainly not in the car.
The car's engine has been completely removed. It's now clear to the agents why the amount on the writ is so high.
Well, what she's done is she's gone for the full value of the vehicle also, that's why so much. She wants the full value of the vehicle. It'd been better for her to buy a new car than try to fix that piece of shit. My uncle has dealt with other customers and whatnot, they're not happy with certain things. Even though if a customer asks for a certain job and you give it to them, they're not happy with it. What can you do?
Is that how it goes?
That's how it goes, bro.
Gary claims that the car came in on a recovery vehicle. The engine was removed to find out what was wrong, and the claimant was told it was beyond repair. But the claimant maintains that the garage took the engine out unnecessarily and wrote off her car.
The pistons all fucked, all burnt off. Pistons over there, I'm not gonna lie.
Why didn't you
I don't know why she put it for a county court judgment and her car's still there.
Why didn't you let her take the car then?
She hasn't even come back since the last time she came.
So the engine's got to go back in it, though.
The engine's there, bro.
Yeah, it's got to go back. It's got to go back.
You can go back in, but it doesn't make sense putting it back in because you talk to any mechanic and say, boy,
well,
you might leave the engine out and tow it away with no engine.
Yeah, well.
Gary claims the damaged engine wasn't put back in, as the car needed an entirely new one.
The engine's still here. Look, that's all the engine broken down in pieces. So parts of the engine is underneath here, and pistons is in there somewhere.
Once you bought the car, though, it had an engine in it, innit?
The engine's still there, bro, but the engine was fucked. I told her this. Yeah. But then she'd have to take it to another garage to get the car done. Oh, I don't want to get a truck again and take it to somewhere, and you understand? That was the whole argument. Yo, I don't know. She was full value of the car. Well, funny. She's funny. She's funny. She's funny. We didn't damage her car. Car was damaged. So I don't know how she was full value of a car that's damaged already. Yeah, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there.
No, she wants her car. He's not saying she can't have the car. It's not as if he's been using the car for his own enjoyment.
There's a clear dispute regarding works being carried out on the vehicle. Her vehicle's there, she wants to collect it. She probably doesn't want it. She wants the value of the car back. She's got a £7,000 writ. She wants paying. There's nothing to take there or to take control of. There's no assets there. So we can't pretty much do anything else but try and resolve it over the phone or advise the claimant appropriately.
With no assets to seize and no offer of payment, Brian and Dell have no choice but to walk away empty-handed.
The vehicle's here. The engine's in pieces. What can you say? I mean, it's I've never had something like this. We are given no information about what the debt's about when we go there. There's no real way, if he has no assets, to make this debtor pay. And that's always frustrating.
The agents have one last word for Gary.
You're a big man. So, what you're going to have to do, the High Court writ is live. You're going to have to get it sorted out. Otherwise, you've got no business, have you?
It's not up to me, it's up to Uncle and my cousin and whatnot, because obviously they're running what business they're running from here.
You know, I'm just talking it straight.
Yeah, she's having a laugh.
Del and Brian may be leaving empty-handed this time. But in Paul and Steve's next case, they meet a grandmother who refuses to listen.
Can you explain to her there's no good her shouting at me? I don't understand her.
More than 3 million people across the UK are living in rented properties without the landlord's permission. 3/4 of these have been in the property for more than 6 months. Recent research shows that only 1 in 5 requests by tenants to sublet are permitted by their landlord. High Court enforcement agents Paul Bohill and Steve Pinner are in West London to carry out another eviction.
It's a writ of possession. The defendant's name is Gatula Gardonil.
The Hungarian tenant, Mr. Gardonil, has rented the property for 3 years, but stopped paying rent 6 months ago. He's now £9,000 in arrears.
What's the name of the road in case I pass it?
Empire Road.
And it's this one.
Notice of eviction was sent by the county court, but Mr. Gardonil ignored it. Now the case has been escalated to the High Court, and he must leave today.
What number are we looking for?
5 and 6, 56.
OK, we're here. Let's go. Oh.
The landlord's son, Mr. Hirani, and his uncle are waiting outside.
Morning.
You here for us, are you?
Yes, Mr. Hirani. That's the key I've got from the agent.
OK.
The one with the yellow tag.
All right.
OK, if you just sit in the car for a few minutes, just till we get the first 10, 15 minutes out of the way. Thanks very much.
See if it's open first. That's one key, which gets us in that one. You can now do your fancy knock on that door.
OK.
There you go. Someone in?
Hello, sir. My name is Paul Bohill. I'm a High Court enforcement agent.
Sorry?
We have a repossession order for this property.
Sorry.
Is that your name there?
No.
Oh, is that person here?
No, it's not here.
Despite the man's claims that he isn't Mr. Gardonil, the High Court writ instructs Paul and Steve to evict anyone living in the house.
You have 1 hour to get personal effects together and then arrange with the landlord to come back and clear the rest out. We have to change the locks now.
All right, okay, just not today and tomorrow, because then one...
No, it's got to be now, within the hour, by 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
Mm.
It seems there's more than just the one tenant named on the writ living in the house.
Figyeljen ide, betegek vagyunk, nem mehetünk utcára. No.
Give me for one more day and we leave in the house. Today, before we leave we're gonna be outside. It's not fair. One day we need it. One day we need it. After we can go out. Okay.
The house should have been vacated 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks?
Ago.
Yeah, okay.
But you're still here today.
Are you joking with us? We're gonna be outside. 2 days we need
I'm not joking with you.
My grandmother is very, very sick.
I'm sorry, I have no choice. We get a whole list of excuses from tenants as to why they can't or shouldn't be evicted. A lot of of excuses revolves around their health status, which I'm sure is genuine, so I'm not belittling that situation.
Despite the grandmother's illness, the agents are duty-bound to enforce the writ and evict the whole family today. Steve needs them to understand that they must seek help from the council.
This is the situation. You have till 9 o'clock to get personal effects, your passport, any medication, closed for a few days. So what you all need to do... You understand me, sir? Thank you. Can you explain it to everybody else?
Nem öltözök semmit, nem megyek
De
sehova
muszáj, ez
se.
az asszony, hát bolond vagy?
Nem megyek sehova se, azért se. Itt fogok lenni. Menjenek el, majd holnap elmegyünk. Tomorrow. Nem megyünk sehova se, mert
You need to be doing something. The sooner you get... Can you explain to her there's no good her shouting at me, I don't understand her.
Tomorrow megyünk.
Tomorrow, no. Today. 1 hour.
Mondjad nekik, menjenek el, holnap jöjjenek.
De nem mennek, anyu, hogy miért vagy étesek, én nem fogok senkivel vitatkozni.
Ha én beteg vagyok, ott akkor menni kell, hova menjünk, mert
Itt van, pakold ebbe a
What makes it happen to you?
With the family not cooperating, Steve reminds them why the eviction is happening.
One question. Who's paying the rent?
Mondjad, hogy menjenek el, tomorrow.
No, nobody is paying the rent for 6 months. £9,000 not paid.
You know, it's not me, and the Gardoni and my sister sending automatically, and the Gardoni. Yeah, I've checked in the council.
It seems that the tenant named on the writ, Mr. Gardinell, has unlawfully sublet the house.
They could well be paying the tenant.
Yes, quite
In this
easily,
case,
yeah.
It's just a writ-off.
We find on properties that we go to that the person who originally rented the property has sublet to other people. They're paying them, but he is not paying the landlord.
So far we've seen 4, there's probably 6 people here, there's probably more. There's 1 downstairs room here, 1 out the back, probably 3 bedrooms, and it's fully occupied. The rent on this property is $1,500 a month, but the landlord has received no rent for 6 months.
You know, this is Gardoni, this Hungarian landlord. Everybody in this is Hungarian people in the same problem. No good man.
Another member of the family arrives back home.
Oh my God. Why?
Yeah, my mom is here, so...
Good morning, okay?
Hova menjünk, ne csinálj?
Nem tudom.
Oh.
Most máma ki kell költözni.
No, because it's landlord,
Okay.
not coming landlord. No, mondjad, hogy nem.
Landlord is, you know, lie.
Yes.
Lie.
But your landlord isn't the man that owns the house. The man that you're paying obviously isn't paying the owner. Whatever money you've paid, he has taken.
Hova teszem azt a letöltjét?
The woman has a letter from the court about the eviction.
Because it's not, because Miss Juliet Gardoni, no marriage.
But you shouldn't be here. They've already lost lots of money. They don't want to lose any more. So they go to the High Court and then they issue a writ for us to come.
Most el kell menni akkor?
Yeah, anya, már el kell menni.
Már össze is szedtél?
Már mindenki összeszedte, te szedjél össze valamikbe. Már apának is. Just help my head.
The family finally seem to have accepted the reality of the situation.
They knew they had to go. It does upset you. Unfortunately, it's a job and we have to step back from that. I don't think there's an easy way to get through it. You just have to try and be as sympathetic towards them as you can and make things as easy as possible for them.
It's been an hour and a half since the agents arrived, and the eviction is complete. After months of trying to get the family out, the owners finally have their house back.
We didn't expect so many people living in one house. The last 6 months, it's been very stressful. We try to evict these people out. And obviously, they've played the game all the way.
It's just the same story. People paying the wrong people. Bottom line is this, the landlord is £11,000-ish out of pocket. And I don't think that's fair.
I agree with you.
It will be up to the council to try and find them emergency accommodation for the night. Recent government figures reveal that homelessness has grown in the UK by more than a third in the last 5 years and has nearly doubled in London. The figures are rising twice as fast among ethnic minority communities, with 20,000 families evicted last year. High Court enforcement agents Del Anglin and Brian O'Shaughnessy are in North London, with a writ to recover nearly £12,000 in unpaid rent.
All right, Brian, what do we have?
Right, Dale, we're going to go see Mrs. Rashida Igala, and we're here for some of £11,992.19.
It's a load of money.
Yeah.
Mrs. Igala signed as guarantor on a tenancy agreement for her sister, but her sister didn't pay her rent for a whole year. And now the landlord has pursued Mrs. Igala through the courts for the money.
It must be in these flats here.
Mm-hmm. Pocket here.
If Mrs. Igala can't or won't pay, then the agents can take away personal possessions to offset the debt.
First one, mate. It look like they're going to have 11 grand here.
Hello, is Rashida Igala here? Does she live here? I'm here with the High Court writ. My name's Brian.
What's this about?
I can't discuss it with you.
I'm sure you can on that side, so...
It's not in your name. Not really, it's formalities. Maybe your mum can enlighten us. Do I get a telephone number and give her a call? No problem, thank you.
Hello.
Thank you. What does mum do? Does she work?
Yeah.
Where does she work? She's social worker, yeah? Okay.
Sorry, the mobile you're calling isn't available at the moment.
While Brian tries to contact the defendant again, Del enters the flat to talk to her son, Ayub.
My eyes aren't brilliant in this light. Have you got a light? Something to show? It's always important for an enforcement agent to get inside a property. Then you can see with your own eyes how they're living, what they've got, what they haven't got, so you can deduce how much they can pay. Who else lives in the house?
My mum, brother, and sisters.
Are they older than you?
No, just my brother's older than me.
Do you know anything about it?
No, he's less active than me.
He's less active than you?
Daily, yeah.
You say mum's a care worker?
So, yeah, something like that. It helps old people and shit.
It would help if we can speak to mum.
I can't come that day. Can I come back an hour or two?
What time does she normally finish then?
She's normally here at 2.
We're going to take a look about at the moment.
With Mrs. Igala at work, the agents look around the flat for any assets they could seize. But it becomes immediately clear that the family own nothing of any value.
Everybody on public transport here? No one's got a car on it? On bus, yeah? Okay. Is the telly old? 5 years? There is nothing that's going to remotely cover anywhere near what we're looking to collect today. It really is a case of leaving a letter and coming to some sort of future payment arrangement according to our financial circumstances, because there's nothing there to remove.
But then the defendant, Mrs. Igala, arrives home early.
Hello.
Hello.
Mum's here. We're High Court enforcement agents, Mrs. Igala.
The reason for our visit today, the claimant owns 28 Oxford Road, where your sister was renting, okay? And there was 12 months rent outstanding.
Mrs. Igala's sister, Fuchsia, the tenant who built up the £12,000 in rent arrears, also arrives.
Is this her?
This sister, hello.
Okay.
My sister, she said, they need a reference.
So that's I give my name. I'm not say I'm paying for her rent.
Well, I think...
When I say I'm, you know, I have reference, I live this address, she's my sister.
Well, you signed paperwork as a guarantor, not reference.
How come? I didn't write anything.
If you didn't sign as a guarantor, the landlord would not have given her the property. Do you know what a guarantor is? It means that your sister should have made payments on her rent. You've guaranteed that you would pay the money in the event that she can't. So between you, then, you need to find £11,000.
Goodness.
11,992, that's a lot of money.
I know.
Mrs. Igala's sister is a refugee from Somalia. After a family tragedy, she fled to England with her 3 young children. She was evicted when she fell behind with her rent.
What the landlord's chosen to do, he's chased you here because you were the guarantor.
Ayub explains the situation to his mother.
No, council can be I know. But where we can get that money? So we can't pay that money, so what we can do then?
At the end of the day, I have to look at their ability to pay and what they can afford to pay that's sustainable over a period of time, without it causing too much of an impact on their family.
It's clear to the agents that the family has a limited income, but they must try to recover as much of the debt as possible.
If your mum's got savings or something, she might be able to put some of those savings to reducing this debt and we can reach an arrangement.
I don't expect you to have £12,000. I don't expect you to have it. Yeah? But you need to pay a significant amount towards it.
Can you find £3,000 today?
Wow. I've got 3,000.
Well, the bill is just under 12.
Take it what you want.
Okay.
Because I didn't have 3,000.
It seems that the family can't even raise the reduced amount the agents have asked for. But as they're duty-bound to get the case resolved, will Mrs. Igala be able to save her family's few possessions? High Court enforcement agents Del Anglin and Brian O'Shaughnessy were in North London to collect nearly £12,000 in unpaid rent.
Between you need to find £11,000.
Goodness.
11,992, that's a lot of money.
Mrs. Igala acted as a guarantor for her sister, but when she defaulted on her rent, the landlord pursued Mrs. Igala through the courts for the money.
But where we can get that money? We can do that.
Can you find £3,000 today?
Wow. I have got 3,000.
Well,
get what you wanted.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
Now, with the risk of losing everything, Mrs. Igala's son, Ayub, tries to reason with his mother.
Oh, okay.
لعبت وطبعاً يدوركم. أنا لعبت السنة تنقر إيوة لعبتك. أنا السنة لعبت يسوع. داس واي سدحكم كاش أنا بدي بقول ليه. سدحكم كاش أنت كثيرين أنت. داس وحلا سوا ما هسدحكم هلا يري. داس وحلا قاتل وحقادي كنتين إجانا تجا.
It's clear the family can't raise £3,000. So now the agents need to assess whether they'll be able to recover any of the £12,000 at all.
If we're going to try and help resolve the issue, let's start with what comes into the house, how much we're talking about.
Ankara, how can I get that money? I work part-time and my sister's income supporting. Where we get that money?
So your sister's on income support?
Income support, yeah. She
living here?
She lives with, she's homeless even. Where we bring it up?
When her debtor's telling me the truth, having given the right degree of empathy and listened to them, I can feed back to the claimant and say, this is their situation. They haven't got a pot to in. However, they can pay something as opposed to nothing.
The agents have been in the flat for nearly 40 minutes. With emotions running high, they decide to offer the family a lifeline.
So I don't want you guys to starve. Do you understand me?
I mean, I'm happy to set a monthly arrangement. £1,000 a month.
You can do £1,000 a month.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah. We're going to set an arrangement, yeah?
But Mrs. Agala disagrees with Ayub that the family can afford the repayments.
We can't pay. Count what I get now and count what my sister gets because my sister is income supported. We pay 500 pounds. Better than 1,000 because it's there for 1,000 is heavy. You get salary high. No. So you get day here. So please. Are you bigger than هذا? Are you better to make a deal? هذا أرنتان إني صاف أرنتان ربع. فلان كان إنا صد أفكارين واحد. معها إنا إيشك.
The family are in crisis. Brian decides to intervene.
What I don't want to do is you to be upset any further. £500 a month, I'm happy. And we want to set something that's sustainable for you, and you said you can do that. It's not unreasonable.
Brian calls the office to see whether the claimant will accept the family's offer of £500 a month.
Hello. They've worked out all the finances, the incomes and outgoings, 500 is fine. Yeah, can you phone the client and tell him 500 a month, starting 30 days from today? All right, bye.
That's the same.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's hard how to get no job.
That's why you wanted to pay the lower amount, right? But you got the whole family here. You can get together and resolve this, yeah? Your son's here, and even though he's not working, he still wants to help. So
He'll get a job soon, don't worry. We're managing it now.
Definitely.
You don't have to walk looking behind your back now, you know?
Thank you very much.
Hello?
The office calls back with a response from the claimant.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, lovely, bye. Okay, we got the 500 for you.
Now, if you win the lottery in the meantime, please remember that.
You win the lottery, we're leaving the country.
Not before settling with me, I helped you out.
Mum, what I've done here, okay, what's called a control goods agreement. Basically, what this is an agreement between you and I that we don't take any of your stuff and you pay 500 quid a month. That's basically it, okay? What it does allow us to do is if you don't stick to that agreement, we can come back and regain entry into your premises with you. But I don't think I have that problem with you guys. You're going to pay it, you're going to keep in contact with me, okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you, brother.
You work out, yeah?
Thank you.
Mum.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck, yeah?
Okay.
Any problems, give us a call.
Thank you.
Okay, Mum. Bye-bye.
But for Mrs. Agala, the debt is just the latest in a long line of family hardships.
500 is hard for me and hard for my sister, but we can do it. We can do it. 500. We know. We do what can. We life is hard, you know. My sister, she get married. They killing, you know, people. So Somalia now they killing. So when they killing, she have pregnant and she have 2 children, but still she's my small sister. So it's difficult life.
That was the best result there.
It's the only result, really.
I think she's a good person. She's trying to support her family and they're struggling.
There's more Campe next week at 9. Tomorrow night at 9, the new series of Nightmare Neighbour Next Door continues. You would not want to share a fence with these folk. And next on Channel 5, Paul Connolly chooses to get close to trouble to get to the truth about car crime. New undercover criminal, Grand Theft Auto, in just a moment.
happens when you get into debt.
I'll do what I want. I will punch you clean through that window.
And you can't
I don't know work. I can't go.
or won't pay it back.
I can't pay it. I can't pay it.
We meet the High Court enforcement agents who are pushed to their limits.
Don't trouble me again, please. You keep barging me. I don't like it. Don't barge me.
Keep going.
Dealing with desperate debtors.
You please open the door.
You can do this. I think you're not human.
In dramatic situations.
I'll break your glasses.
We meet the people who are losing their homes.
We've got nowhere to go.
You can't leave him because if that pipe comes off, it's
He'll
like
die.
threatening.
And their possessions.
Will it be all right to tow it behind a transit?
Because whatever happens, if you can't pay...
Get your hands off me.
They'll take it away. The number of privately rented households has doubled in the last 15 years, with more than half of tenants now renting in the private sector. But evictions have soared, increasing by over 30% since 2007. (8 a.m. North London). High Court enforcement agents Paul Bowhill and Steve Pinner work across the south of England, enforcing writs and repossessing properties.
Today we're off to Cricklewood with a writ of possession. I don't know if it's a Mr. or a Miss.
They're on their way to evict tenant Kekwa Dongu and her family, who've ignored several court orders telling them to leave.
Just look for the number. It's on our left. Top there. Oh, I think they're ready for us.
But this job isn't going to be straightforward.
Good morning.
Well, it's 9 o'clock, no?
9 o'clock. Then you can't come in.
What's significant about 9 o'clock?
That's what we were told, 9.
Oh, right.
It says on my paperwork 8.
The family claim they have a letter telling them the eviction would begin at 9 and are protesting about the early arrival of the agents.
Good morning.
It's 9 o'clock. You can't come in. It's supposed to be 9 o'clock, Chief.
There is no time. I don't know who...
but that's the time they give us, 9 o'clock. That's not trying to blame this.
The writ gives the agents authority to enter the property at any time. Kekwa comes down to back up the father of her children.
No, they want to see 9 o'clock. Oh, God.
It's okay, you don't have to be out until 9, so you've got... that's a bonus. There's always something.
You go wait outside, please.
No.
But they say 9 o'clock.
Paul wants to remain by the door, just in case the tenants try and lock themselves in.
Sorry, you in or not? Because it's quite cold.
No. This is no longer your house.
Okay, so why are you standing by the edge?
Because that's what I do.
That's what you do. You just stand by the exit.
That's right, yeah. To make sure you don't slam the door.
Sorry?
To make sure you don't slam the door.
You're quite funny, you know.
I am, yeah.
You think you're funny? Yeah? People have to move their stuff. You're always standing down there for. You should move down there, they're moving stuff.
Well, when you're ready.
Kekwa and her family have just 1 hour to pack their essentials and leave. But instead, they're still arguing over the timing of the eviction.
Look, I'm not being objectionable. Why are you being objectionable? You know, we've been perfectly civilised and you seem to be a bit unreasonable.
Tenants get rude and angry because, honestly, they don't want to meet us. We're asking them to leave their home, so they are going to be angry. If you try and shout, you've lost. It's just a no-win situation. With all due respect, and I understand that you've been told...
You don't understand.
I do understand. You've been told...
You come inside the house, you say you don't understand.
Forget about the letter and all of that. Out of respect, you can't even give us, half an hour to sort of get off things up.
You have the hour. You have the hour.
It's going to be like this.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're making all this fuss. Just get packed and go.
If you could get out of the way, we could actually do it quicker.
You've got an hour to clear the stuff out, so no problem.
If you've got until 9 to leave, why are you here?
We give you an hour to get your stuff together.
No, nobody told... Listen very carefully. Nobody told us...
No. You listen
9
very
o'clock.
carefully. You listen very carefully.
Okay.
Don't touch me like that.
All right.
You're saying you've got up until 9. Yeah? We're saying if you got up until 9, why are you in here when it's not 9 o'clock
Because
yet?
they told us 8.
And they told us 9.
So, I'm sorry, we'll get them here and we'll argue it out.
This guy, you're all the same. You don't know what you're talking about.
The reason that tenants make issues out of things that otherwise are definitely irrelevant is that it diverts their mind from the main thrust of the situation. They're going to be evicted. They're just looking for reasons to, in their mind, discredit us.
Kekwa's son decides to start filming Paul on his phone.
You don't care, thinks it's funny coming to people's houses.
I don't think it's funny at all.
You do think it's funny, but you don't seem to care.
I do care.
You don't?
OK, I don't care.
You don't?
All right, then I don't care. I'll go with you, wherever you want.
No, it's not with me. It's
you're wasting your time with that.
I've got until 9, so I can stay and record you up until 9. I'm all good.
OK.
Yeah. So what's your name, Mr. Clown?
My name is Paul Bowhill.
Yeah. The name suits you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. It's kind of you to say so. What's your name?
Don't worry about my name. My name is...
Steve Pinner.
Look at that big smile on his face. It's funny as well.
I'm just pleasant.
Funny guy. Coming in, standing there. Like some military.
With the situation becoming confrontational, the agents need the family to focus on getting ready to leave.
Ugh. Better not lock us in. I will be miffed.
Leave it.
It's 9 o'clock. The tenant's hour to pack is up, and they must leave.
I'm going to get a clicker. Key phrase. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 47 times so far we've heard 9 o'clock.
But Kekwa's son wants to go back in to fetch more belongings.
You don't listen to us, I'm not listen to you. Simple as.
You can't come back in. No, you can't come back in.
What do you mean I can't come back in?
That's it, 9 o'clock.
Why are you touching me for?
You've got to go. You've got to go.
Can you not touch me?
You're not
touch me like that.
Okay,
Do not touch me like that again.
All right.
What started as a simple repossession has turned into a volatile situation.
Shove me back, you're breaking rules, but don't shove me again, please. You keep barging me, I don't like it. Don't barge me.
Keep going.
Don't barge me. This should be seen as assault, because you're forcing us out of the house. Yes, assault. Yeah, assault, yeah. And they're gripping me as well. You're gripping me, you're gripping me as well.
Paul and Steve need to act quickly to stop this eviction turning nasty. High Court enforcement agents Paul Bowhill and Steve Pinner were in Cricklewood, North London, carrying out an eviction.
This is no longer your house.
Okay, so why are you standing by the edge?
No, they want to say 9 o'clock. Oh, God.
The tenant, Kekwa Dongu, and her family claimed the agents had arrived an hour early.
There was something.
You don't wait outside, please.
No.
Instead of packing to leave...
Leave it.
The family argued with the agents.
Listen very carefully. Nobody told us.
No. You listen
9 o'clock.
You listen very carefully.
Okay.
Don't touch me like that.
When Paul stopped Kekwa's son from re-entering the house...
Excuse me.
No, you can't come back in.
Tempers boiled over.
I'll shove you back, you're breaking rules, but don't shove me again, please. You keep barging me, I don't like it. Don't barge me.
Keep going.
Now the agents need to get the situation under control before things get out of hand.
Just call the police.
What time to call the police then?
Because nobody's assaulting me.
This time, if you carry on, I'll throw water to him.
No, it's just water there. Is that for throwing over us as the last? Do you reckon?
She should have thrown water to you, as I said.
If you do that, sir, that's assault. You can't do that either.
To ease the tension, the agents allow the tenants an extra 15 minutes to pack. Paul and Steve need to give Kekwa, or the children's father, a copy of the writ so they can seek emergency accommodation for themselves and the 4 children.
Can I just explain something just very shortly? Nobody...
You know, we're spending our time, you know? So you're taking our time for nothing. We can't even do what you're doing.
The father of Kekwa's children refuses to take the writ. Concerned for their welfare, Paul gives it directly to one of Kekwa's daughters.
This paper, if it's taken to the council office, because there are children involved, they will have to get you emergency accommodation. Wait till they've calmed down, though, but that's the writ. I'm sorry there is such an upset. We are very caring people.
I'm angry that you wounded.
Yeah.
I get scared.
We are very caring people. It's okay, it's the worst day of their lives, isn't it? There is never a good day to have your home repossessed.
The agents need to make sure the writ gets passed to one of the parents before they leave.
That's the piece of paper you need to take to the council, OK? So whatever you do, do not lose that piece of paper.
The eviction is almost complete.
Nobody else in here, is there?
I don't think so.
Steve looks around the house to see what possessions are left, but he's in for a shock.
Wow. How on earth can you live like this? It never ceases to amaze me how cluttered and dirty some of the properties are. And you have to actually climb over stuff to get into the different rooms. I just don't know how people can live like it.
The family have now had their extra 15 minutes. Their time in the house is up.
But let's just leave. They don't care. They're just doing their job. I don't hate him for that, but he's just doing his job.
It's your job. It's not your fault. It's your job.
Thank you.
Yeah? Sit down, stop. Are you twins?
Your husband and wife.
Kekwa and her family are now homeless and face an uncertain future.
It might seem that your tensions are getting frayed, but at the end of the day, you just got to let them go on with it. They shout, rant and rave and moan at us. They're going to go. And that's the bottom line, you know. As unfortunate as it is for them, there is no going back.
Across the UK, the level of personal debt is on the rise. In the last year alone, total personal debt has climbed by £32 billion. Broadstairs, Kent. High Court enforcement agents Brian O'Shaughnessy and Delroy Anglin are on their way to recover nearly £12,000 worth of unpaid rent owed to a landlord.
OK, we're going to see Miss Alexandra Donkin and Mr Mark Howe. We need to collect £11,896.66.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's out of a few quid, isn't he? It's a lot of bloody money.
The debt is for a previous property Alexandra and Mark rented. But if they can't or won't pay, the agents can seize goods to offset the debt today. The writ authorises the agents to make peaceful entry through open doors.
Hello, High Court enforcement. Hello, mate, how are you?
All right.
How are you? Who's Mr Mark Howe?
No.
I'm here with a High Court writ for Alexandra Donkin and Mark Howe. Are you the tenant here now?
No, I'm the tenant's brother.
OK, who's the tenant?
Mark Howe.
Mark Howe, cool. Can you get on the phone, please, sir?
No.
No? OK, cool.
This response makes Brian suspicious.
I'll take it you're Mark then, yeah? You're Mark, yeah? We're here to discuss it and resolve it in the right way. All right. So are you Mark then, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Mark. When somebody doesn't want to identify themselves when I visit, it shows me their intention. They don't want to pay. But it's stupid, it's silly. We're going to find out who you are, it's just a matter of time when.
Now that Mark has confirmed his identity, Brian can serve him the writ and demand payment.
I don't owe rent.
So why's he made a claim against you?
Because I lived there, but I didn't pay the rent.
Mark now claims he isn't responsible for the debt.
OK, so I'm here to collect £11,896.66, Mark. How would you like to pay it?
What if I don't owe it?
Then we'll look at removing your assets in your home. Do you work?
No.
Do you claim any benefits? How do you support yourself?
She does.
OK, do you...
She paid me.
Can Alexandra pay it?
She can't pay it all in one go, no.
How much can she pay today?
I've no idea.
Should we get on the phone and see what we can do?
She hasn't got any money at the moment. She hasn't been paid from the job she's doing yet.
OK, do you want to have a word with her? Let her know what's going on?
Ask her what?
Mark isn't cooperating with the agents, so Brian changes tactics.
Can you pay me £11,896.66, sir?
No.
OK, we'll look at your assets to remove, OK? Thank you, Mark. Right, what you got there, mate?
The agents hope the prospect of losing his possessions might prompt Mark to pay. But as they look around the flat for goods to seize, they're in for a surprise.
Why have you got a sword behind the door, Mark? It's a bit naughty, that.
Look, you've got samurai swords in there, mate. If you ain't going to play the game, I might decide those samurai swords might be a bit of a danger to me.
Well, I'm not going to hit you with them.
I don't know what you're going to do with them.
I'll tell you now, why.
Yeah, well, you got a laptop in there, haven't you?
We can't.
Why is that then?
I'm using it.
Really? You were using it. That now belongs to us.
If Mark doesn't take any steps to pay the £11,000 he owes, he could lose his possessions. But Brian and Dell want to give him another chance.
It's a long day, and the weather's horrible. I don't want to give anyone a hard time. If you don't want to cooperate, that's fine, because I just list everything and we'll take it. All right? Now, that's not what I want to do. All right? So if you fix up, I'll fix up, and we start to get to the nitty-gritty and see how realistically what you can get, what arrangement we can do, right, so we can leave you in peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah. OK?
I do not expect you to have £11,000. I'm letting you know that. We're realists, yeah? We're going to need today at least £3,000 today just to set it off. Can you speak to your partner? Just let them know what's going on. Things can happen. We need a lump sum payment. This is the problem. This is the stumbling block at the moment.
How much? Probably get £1,000 in a couple of days, but today I couldn't get that. And I'm being honest.
There's still no sign of payment. But Brian and Dell must get this case resolved one way or another.
I'm not being funny, mate, but it might be a case of taking what we can get instead of wasting too much time here. Essentially, just a couple of laptops, TV. What is that, Nikon?
Mate, that's expensive.
Is that Nikon?
That's the money.
Lens, wide angle.
It's clear Mark hasn't got the means to pay. But the value of the items in the flat doesn't come close to clearing the £11,000 he owes.
Is there a reason why you're not working?
Yeah, I suffer from liver disease and depression, anxiety.
Okay.
All sorts of things, right? Yeah.
Okay.
This person may be having a bit of a difficult time. There may be some depression issues here, but we still need to make sure everybody's happy and the job's resolved. It's quite difficult, but it's imperative that we take into consideration the whole circumstance that's in front of us.
Mark is still reluctant to offer anything substantial to settle the debt.
Over one winter, we got a little bit behind and we made arrangements to pay it, which we did. But it got to a point where the house was not being maintained. We couldn't use the lights, we couldn't use the toilet. Why should I pay a full rent, £600 a month, and not have the place looked after properly? So I decided not to. That was my decision.
Given Mark's circumstances, Brian offers him a lifeline.
What I'd like to do is get a £2,000 payment in 1 week's time and then a £200 a month arrangement. So you can either agree to it or remove your goods. What would you like us to do?
Agree to it.
If you don't pay it, I will be back here the following day. Do you understand that?
Yeah, to do what?
To remove your goods.
Mark has been offered an extra week to find the money, but his response comes as a shock to the agents.
What if I move them out in the meantime?
Well, then that's a whole different ballgame.
What will happen? If you were to dispose of them, you'd be committing a criminal offence, right, because they're not yours to dispose of. The police would be called and you'd be nicked. Now, if I think for one moment that you might, then I would be better off taking them now.
Mark's suggestion that he might remove his goods before the agents return forces them to change their approach.
Do you know what? I need £2,000 today. Get me £2,000 today, or I'm going to remove your goods. I don't like your whole aura. I don't like what I'm hearing. So the next discussion we're going to have will be about payment, OK? So if you can't get it, I'm just going to remove your goods.
Why can't I do things in an amicable way? What difference does it make if we pay £2,000 a day?
The agents have been in the flat for over an hour. Mark's partner, Alexandra, calls.
Hello. We've got bailiffs around the house, and he wants £2,000 today, and I said we haven't got £2,000 today, you haven't been paid. I don't know what you want me to say. No, you stay out of it. You stay out of it, I said. I'm missing all my horse racing doing this, but it's cost me money. I'm billing for that. Right, okay.
With Alexandra unable to provide funds, Brian is forced to give Mark an ultimatum.
OK, Mark, you need to get this £2,000, or I'm going to remove your goods. I've got a vehicle on the way here now, and I will carry that out. Okay?
Turns you on.
If it turns me on, not particularly, no. It may turn you on.
You want to take my computer and my television, you do so.
I'll do... Well, I'll do that because you can't pay the money you owe.
I haven't got it on me today.
How would you get it?
My mother and my sister.
How long would it take?
Well, I suppose it's just a case of going to the cash point and getting it out.
Is it something that could happen today?
I don't want to worry my mother because she's unwell.
All the moment's all guesswork, isn't it? You haven't asked anybody.
Mark finally starts to try and raise some funds. He calls his sister.
Do you want to speak to him? He wanted 2. She can only do 1,000. OK, sorry about this. I'll get it sorted for you tomorrow. Can you give me the 16 numbers?
Mark's sister agrees to pay half of the £2,000 needed today.
My sister's got to contact her husband, so I don't suppose he's going to be too happy about it. It's just inconveniencing other people.
But Mark still needs to raise the other £1,000.
We've got £1,000 to go.
So you want me to chase around all night looking for £1,000?
We're here for 11,000. We're actually being very reasonable and asking for 2 at the moment.
So that's not enough?
I need another £1,000.
Or you take the stuff?
Yeah.
Mark decides to go and see his mum to ask for help.
I feel angry now. Very.
You can look at me all you want, that'll make a difference.
Sleep well tonight, won't you?
I'll sleep very well, thanks.
You won't when it comes to judgment, don't you?
Maybe not.
There's no maybe about it.
Brian and Dell wait in the flat for Mark.
People like Mark, it's everybody else's fault. But you know what? It's your fault I'm standing inside your front room. It's your fault we're having this discussion. Nobody else is. You know what? I don't particularly want to be inside your home at 7 o'clock at night having this discussion. I'd rather be at home having a Horlicks or a Bovril. Do you know what I mean?
An hour later, Mark returns with another £1,000.
I've got the card.
All right, if you can just sign and telephone number there, Mark.
The case is resolved, for now. But if Mark doesn't stick to his payment plan, the agents will be back.
I just want to say that I'm not here to be difficult. It may seem that way. It's not personal. OK? I appreciate what you've done. I want you to know that. All right?
Brian and Dell have got the result they needed in a difficult situation. But in Paul and Steve's next case...
You can do this. I think you're not human.
They meet a woman whose life is turned upside down by a bitter dispute with her landlord.
16 months this has been going on for.
Really?
And I've spent £6.5 grand.
On average, over the last 5 years, tenants in the UK have spent more than £40,000 on rent. The average rent now stands at £1,280 a month. It's rising year on year, and more tenants are being evicted. Langley, Berkshire. High Court enforcement agents Paul Bohill and Steve Pinner are on the road again to carry out another eviction.
There's actually no money on the order.
So theoretically, it's just a straightforward, no-nonsense repossession.
It could be an easy job, or they could just be hiding behind the curtains.
The landlord claims he's been trying to get his property back to live in himself, and that his tenants, Habib and Amel Jabali, have refused to leave with their 3 children.
5, 3... Oh, that one.
Well, that's where the ice cream van is.
Mr. What's it?
Now, hang on. You've got to be careful here, because these ice cream men are sometimes known to have loaded 12 bores.
Loaded combs?
Well, no, because they actually have, like, turf wars, don't they?
The landlord claims the dispute with his tenants has been going on for over a year. This eviction is going to test all of Paul and Steve's negotiating skills.
Something I prepared earlier. It's not often we get luxuries like this.
They've been given a spare key by the landlord.
Hello, sir. Good morning, good afternoon.
Hello, sir. My name is Paul Bowhill. I'm a High Court enforcement agent.
Right.
We have a repossession order for this property.
Well, we haven't got any letter to say that. So
No, there is no letter. I have the letter here.
And I move by tomorrow?
No, you've got an hour now to pack just things you need for today.
Right.
You can come back and pick the rest of your stuff up by arrangement with the landlord.
OK.
The family have lived in the house for 6 years. Now Habib has just 1 hour to pack some essentials for himself, his wife and their 3 children.
Is that your ice cream van?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind a large cone.
You can't have an ice cream now.
Can't be moving for last 2
fast
days,
as you
boss.
can, please. Fast
I
as
will.
you can.
I will,
All right.
boss.
We don't want to follow you about. We'll be outside.
OK.
The landlord, Mr. Jalaf, and his father are here to see the tenants evicted.
Joy?
Yeah, he's in.
OK.
They've got an hour to get their stuff out.
Cool, fine, brilliant. 16 months this has been going on for.
Really?
And I've spent 6.5 grand.
Wow.
6.5 grand on this to get them out. I'm going to move in myself, me, my wife, and the kids, and hopefully have a lovely life together. 16 months ago, I gave him notice to leave the property. They then turned around and said, I need 6-7 months. He was willing to increase the rent, which I didn't want him to do, but he did it himself anyway. But since then, we've been through the courts.
Habib denies voluntarily paying more rent in order to stay in the house.
He wants just money. For the last 6 years, I've paid him. I had no problem with him, with the payment. She can't afford that. Suddenly, you want to put his rent up. It's ridiculous. And I can't afford it. You know, the money asking for, I can't afford it. But I never missed a payment, never.
Half an hour into the eviction, wife Amel arrives home with her 2-year-old son.
You can't do this. I think you're not human. It's unbelievable. Not even receiving nothing. We not receive any letter. How can they do this? We are paying our rent. Everything is updated. I know he's allowed to get his property, but I've got kids. This is really ridiculous.
Okay, calm down.
18-year-old son Fedi steps in to help.
How long have you got to leave now?
You've got an hour to get personal things together. Go to see the council. They will give you emergency accommodation straight away. And then you need to speak to the landlord to move the rest of the stuff out in the next few days, once you've made arrangements with the council.
The landlord, you know what? He's asking us to pay 1,600, which the property is 1,125. This is his problem.
He's going to move back into the house.
No. Excuse me, no. He wants to kick us out from the house.
Despite the dispute, the family must leave the house today.
You've only got to take with you sufficient to last you for today. Go to the council office.
I'm going back now.
Right.
I live in the council. Every day I'm in the council. They know about, look, 1, 2. Every time I go, I have to sit for 4 or 5 hours. My husband, he's ill. He had a back problem. Now we have to move our stuff.
Amel claims that due to her husband's health problems, he hasn't been able to run his ice cream business properly. Now the family haven't enough money to move.
They look for the reference because my husband, he doesn't receive any because he's worked for his own, you know. They ask you for 5-month deposit, 3 months in advance. How gonna afford it? He just working only 20
but
hours.
Now that you've been evicted, the council will give you a house.
Yes, okay.
And you've now got the letter to take.
Tenants tell us it's the landlord's fault. You know, they want to do this, they want to do that. And I try and impress on them that we don't know the landlord, like we don't know the tenant. We're brought in just specifically to do this job. We have no history with either of them, so we can't take sides.
I have a problem with my back like this for the last 3 years like this. And something heavy. This last week I was in physiotherapy. And now I'm back again because different stuff. I shouldn't.
The agents have been at the property for nearly 2 hours. Amel is still in shock.
Of course it's upsetting. Who accepts going in the street? Nobody. Plus, when you got children, I mean, look, the food was ready for tonight. Can you imagine expecting my kids coming from the school to have their dinner? This is unfair. It's just unfair. What you can do? Nothing.
The tenants have a legal right to return to the property at a later date to collect their possessions.
Are they moving everything?
Pretty much. Well, looks like it.
But it becomes clear that they want to take everything today.
You didn't have to take everything now. You didn't have to take everything now. No, we said only your personal effects.
Yeah.
You can make an arrangement and collect everything else in another day.
I don't want to see him no more.
Okay.
After wait.
Okay. We are coming across people that say, I don't want the landlord anywhere near my property, I'll get it out now. And we've been on many occasions where the house has been empty in less than an hour. You know, they all dig in and get everything out.
How are we doing? Are they going okay? Are they?
Yeah, all right, yeah.
We're not panicking. No, it's all right. We're not chasing it for you. But you don't need to clear all the stuff today.
Yeah, but he's going to be in the house, isn't he?
Well, he'll have the keys, but what is there? He can't take the stuff away. We'll walk around and do a video of everything that's in the house. Right. For that very reason, for security reasons. So we know, and it's on camera, what's actually
I'll
there.
let him know.
What a good lad you are.
Thank you.
You're just steady, absolutely together.
Thank you.
All right. But if you're my son, I'll be proud of you. I'm sure he is.
Thank you.
Despite being told they can apply for emergency housing, Mrs. Jabali is still worried she has nowhere to go.
What's happened is just people, very bad people. They haven't got hearts, you know? They don't care if you are in the street with the kids or not.
Paul and Steve have given the family extra time to pack, but now they must leave the house they've called home for the last 6 years.
I'm going to show you something. It's mean to us. Look. There is no place like home.
Amel is worried about where the family are going to sleep tonight.
It's 2:45. Tonight, I'm sure we're not gonna be housing before 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning.
The eviction is over. Mr. Jalaf has his property back.
Kind of feel bad for the tenants because I gave them every opportunity to, move out on their own terms. But, unfortunately, my hands were tied. It's not a nice thing to do, but, I had no choice but to do that.
More than 8 million households across Britain have no savings at all. And the number of families who have debt problems has increased by almost a third since 2012. Luton, Bedfordshire. High Court enforcement agents Brian O'Shaughnessy and Delroy Anglin are on their way to recover a £4,500 debt. But this isn't the first time the agents have visited the debtor, Shirley Davis.
Oh, all right, don't worry. Well, I think we've got next job. We've been here once prior. What's her name again?
Shirley Davis. She owes Mr. Mustafa Al-Naziri £4,496.99.
On their previous visit, Shirley refused to let the agents into her house.
First visit when I came with Graham, she went to the top window. I listed some vehicles and put relevant paperwork through to get some sort of reaction, but she hasn't even called. So we might catch them in now. It's 6 o'clock near. Just park down here, see if we can get in the side maybe straight away.
As this is the agent's second attempt to recover the money for their client, they're not taking any chances. They go round to the back of the house to make sure this time they get in.
Hello? Hello? High Court enforcement, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Not too bad.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. We're High Court enforcement agents. We're looking for Shirley Davis.
She's not here.
Does she live here still?
No, she doesn't. Why? What are you looking for her for?
Well, it's regarding High Court. We've got a High Court writ, sir.
I'm her ex-husband.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
How long have you been her ex for?
Well, we're not even divorced yet, but...
Del, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. When I first visited, she was at the top window, so she's here.
Does she live here?
She's not here.
Does she live here?
She stays here, so...
Okay.
Shirley's husband claims she no longer lives at the address, but Del is suspicious.
Do you know Mr. Al-Naziri?
I don't know.
Mustafa? That's someone called Mustafa. You don't?
No. What's that you're saying?
It's a High Court writ, so we don't have any information other than what we have.
How much is that?
Well, I can't say too much unless you want to pay it for her.
Well, she's my wife after all.
She's your wife now?
Yeah.
So she's not an ex?
No, we're not divorced yet.
All right. So she's your wife, and she lives here. All right then.
Okay.
If you run into that, we can. Yeah, when it suits you. Yeah.
So.
All right.
So can you leave a copy of this?
We've been here too many times. We left letters for her, and she's not phoned and she's not contacted nobody. Where is she now?
I don't know where she's gone.
Do you have a phone number for her?
It's not for me to give you her phone number. Please, let me phone her.
So you call her, talk to her, tell her. May I go get you back?
Yeah, man.
All right. When people are being evasive with a debt issue, it's actually normal. I expect them to lie. On a few occasions when people are honest, I'm actually quite taken aback, and it makes you want to help them.
The agents have been in the house for 5 minutes when another man suddenly comes into the kitchen.
How are we doing, sir?
What's up? No problem. What's wrong?
You're looking for Mum because she was someone.
Looking for Mum? What do you mean looking for Mum? Looking for who? Who you come to look for? What's the name?
Shirley Davis.
There's no Shirley Davis here. So what do you want?
Talk to me.
Okay.
We've spoken to her husband. If that's your father, I don't know, because you haven't said who you are yet. All right? So I'm taking the view that this is your son, yeah? Okay. And I'm taking the view that the woman that we come here to see is your mum. We've spoken to your dad. Your dad's going to call your mum, so we can try and get this resolved.
Who's he calling, though? There's not... What are you talking about? Shirley Davis?
He knows who it is.
Who's Shirley Davis? It's your mother we come for.
What's your mum?
He just told you that. What's the name? He just told you who we come for.
Shirley Davis.
There's no Shirley Davis. What are you talking about?
That's not what...
There's no Shirley Davis. Don't talk to him. You come out with this attitude. Don't come to this attitude. There's no attitude here.
There's no Shirley Davis here.
Look,
we've already established the facts.
Yeah, there's no
We've already established the facts.
There's no Shirley Davis here. There's no Shirley Davis here.
It's a stalemate. Will Brian and Del ever come face to face with the elusive debtor Shirley and get the £4,500 they came for?
Who's Shirley Davis?
Brian and Del were in Luton, collecting a debt of £4,500.
We're High Court enforcement agents. We're looking for Shirley Davis.
The debtor's husband told the agents she'd moved.
She's not here.
Does she live here still?
No, she doesn't.
And then another man in the house told them he'd never heard of her.
Who you come to look for? What's the name?
Shirley Davis.
There's no Shirley Davis here. It's your mother we come for.
Is it your mum?
He just told you that. What's the name? He just told you who we come for.
Shirley Davis.
There's no Shirley Davis. What are you talking about?
That's not what...
That's not what... You know what? Don't talk to him. You come out with this attitude. Don't come to this attitude. There's no attitude here.
There's no Shirley Davis here.
The agents suspect both men are holding back the truth. Now they have to skillfully get to the heart of the matter.
Speak to your father then if you don't know, because he's told us.
You tell me who Shirley Davis is. Who's Shirley Davis?
All right.
Yeah, it's quite difficult when the debtor isn't available to talk to, but when you have family members there who can get hold of her and choose not to put you in contact, it's another wall, it's another obstacle. And I'll prod a little further and I'll ask the appropriate questions till I get the answers I need. So just a bit more work like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, so to speak.
So where's this warrant from the High Court? Can I see it?
But if you don't know who Shirley Davis is, why am I showing you?
No, let me see.
Why am I showing
but
you?
from the house. I want to see if it's got the house.
What's your
name?
All right, give me something. What's your name?
Get me.
What's your name?
I'm Davis.
You're Davis?
Yeah.
That's your surname?
Yeah.
What's your first name?
Sean.
All right, Sean. I'm Delroy, okay?
The man finally admits he is the debtor's son, Sean. But then his dad returns after speaking to Shirley on the phone.
She don't know no Muslim. She don't know a Muslim, man. Don't know what you're talking about.
He no longer wants to cooperate with the agents.
You broke into my home.
We haven't broken into your home.
Yes, you have. You come
we
in
have
here
not broken
unauthorized.
into. We don't need to be authorised, sir.
My
We've
friend.
not. Look, I've not come here to disrespect nobody. You know, I've explained why I'm here. We've come through an unlocked door. Now, I'm not leaving until we resolve this.
It's my right as a citizen of England.
I've been commanded to come here by the High Court. All right?
Sure, but this is private
You know
property.
something? Call the police then so we can do our job, because I can see where this is going.
So you tell me what you want to do. There's no payment.
Okay, so then we need to go and have a look.
Fine. Then we need to look. We need to look around the yard then, bro, so we can put this to bed. All right?
Even in Shirley's absence, Brian and Dell can seize assets to cover the £4,500 debt.
All these things in this house belong to me. Everything in this house is mine.
I know it's yours, but let him look.
If Shirley's husband can't prove the goods in the house belong to him, the agents can take them away. But the bare floorboards on the stairs suggest the family have hit hard times.
Is it council or you bought the house?
Council.
All right. Okay.
Downstairs, the agents find letters from other debt collection agencies. It soon becomes clear that the assets in the house don't come close to clearing the £4,500 debt.
It's obvious to me that you haven't. I don't expect you to have £4,500 in your back pocket. You understand me? But some arrangements got to be put in place, innit?
The only option left is to set up a payment plan. But this can't be done in Shirley's absence.
We need to speak to her so we can assess her situation.
Yeah.
Your dad, is he retired?
Yeah.
Okay, situation with Mum.
Same thing, she's not working.
There's no goods here to cover the debt other than, well...
A Samsung television. I'm not going to take the man's television.
I'm not going to take telly. I'm inclined to return this
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Because we're wasting our time.
After an hour at the house, the agents have no choice but to walk away empty-handed.
Sure, and it doesn't mean this problem's going to go away though either. Yeah, there may be other avenues that the claimant can go down. They can take further legal advice. Sorry if us standing here upset you or this gentleman here. Do you understand? It's not personal. Yeah, we're not here to judge you or your family situation.
All right, sir. All right. See you later. I'm coming at your house. Yeah. Bless.
It's been a frustrating case for the agents.
The house is effectively empty. There's no carpet. The only thing of value is a telly and a keyboard. Other enforcement agencies are clearly after them. Judging from how they live, I'd say they probably don't have anything.
The case hasn't been resolved today, but the claimant has a right to send the agents back to try again.
It doesn't mean it's gone away. The issue hasn't gone away. The issue hasn't been dealt with. Just because we couldn't resolve it doesn't mean it won't be resolved. So that's quite important as well.
Coping with island life on benefits. We meet those struggling to make ends meet in Life on the Dole. Catch that new here on Channel 5 Thursday at 8. Next, Mrs. Caldicott's Cabbage War.